after school, flying my bike past the gates of the factories. My mom doing the laundry, hanging out shirts in the dirty breeze. And after it rains, there's a rainbow, and all of the colors are black. It's not that the colors aren't there, it's just imagination they lack. Everything's the same back in my little town, my little town. Everything's the same back in my little town, my little town. In my little town, I never meant nothing, I was just my father's son.
Joe Westwell, I'm the Air Officer and Safety Officer for the Southbridge Police Department. We'll represent
Jerry Matthew and Firefighter Jeff Langevin. We represent the Southbridge Fire Department. We provide both fire and EMS protection to the fire.
This is Mark General, our co-chairman. But our charge was to let DOD know what the educational resources were.
Okay. My name is Severina Rios. This is my brother, Catalino Alicia. We are members of the school.
I'm Kathy Boland, Tri-Valley.
Tri-Valley Elder Services tries to keep elder...
Pleased to have had the opportunity to be here. Very proud of the programs that we represent in our schools. The banners give you an example.
here in the tri-community area, from the smallest retailer up to the largest manufacturer in the area, and we stand ready to...
The Housing and Relocation Committee, and displayed here is our booth for the Department of Defense proposal. Included in the
Old Sturbridge Village, and as one of the largest living history museums in the Northeast, we feel that we're...
The Quinebaug Valley Council for the Arts and Humanities, more...
It's a beautiful spring day, May 3rd, 1994, and the word spreads around town like wildfire that Southbridge, Massachusetts has won a Department of Defense facility. Within minutes, people turned out from all over town, including many television personalities, and a lot of the town and state officials. People came from everywhere. All of a sudden, there maybe 200 to 300 people were gathering around the media area, awaiting the arrival of U.S. Senator Edward Ted Kennedy and his entourage and town and state officials to make the great announcement that the Department of Defense has given the town of Southbridge several hundred jobs coming to the community as part of a new DFAS-related Department of Defense Center for Financial Management, Education, and Training. There were a lot of happy faces and a lot of people wondering just what the announcement would be. But eventually, the number of jobs that the center will bring to the region is expected to be comparable to the number for many other DFAS facilities, and the benefit to Southbridge, they're saying, will be substantial. These jobs plan to play an important role in revitalizing the local economy in the short run and bring new growth to the area in the long term. People are awaiting the arrival of Senator Kennedy, U.S. Representative Richard Neal, Town Manager Florence Chandler, and many other officials. Many familiar faces in the audience today preparing to hear just what is going to be said. Southbridge has had a long road to this big day. The town, located along the Quinebaug River, has a population of about 17,000 people, with a town council manager form of government. And then the long-anticipated wait ended as Town Manager Florence Chandler, U.S. Senator Edward M. Kennedy, Richard E. Neal, the congressman from Springfield, Mark Murphy, President of the Chamber of Commerce, Representative Dave Peters,
welcome you all here today.
And the town manager gives the welcome address.
Needs no introduction, my favorite senator, Senator Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Well, on behalf of Congressman Richie Neal and John Kerry, we're here, first of all, to express great admiration and tribute to the people of Southbridge, who have, over the period of these past months, because of their dedication and commitment and love of community, and because the people in this community know that they had something that could be contributed to our national security and national interest by having facilities here that can mean more meaningful review of various financial contracts by the Defense Department, that the Pentagon today has made a judgment that Southbridge should be the educational and training center for all of the DFAS facilities in this country. Effectively, what the Pentagon said today is 5 major DFAS facilities will continue to exist in locations where they already exist today, and that some 20 facilities will be located in different defense areas as a result of the base closing procedures. But only one center, Southbridge, has been designated as the center for training the 23,000 individuals that will serve in those DFAS facilities. They will provide this education and training center will provide the trained personnel for all of the other centers. For me, it really is super DFAS, because it is so special in terms of its function and what it will achieve for our national and for our security interests. The Secretary Deutsch, just a few minutes ago in the Pentagon, indicated that there will be several hundred jobs that will come here to Southbridge, that those numbers will increase to at least the numbers that are a part of the DFAS facilities, the satellites facilities, the 20 satellite facilities, depending on the success of the program, and we know that it will be a good program because Congressman Richie Neal and I and Florence Chandler are going to make sure that it will be. And we expect that it will provide hundreds of jobs, permanent jobs, as a result of locating here outside of the center, and more than 300 to 400 construction jobs for men and women of this community in the construction industry as this facility is established. We expect that it'll provide an annual input of some $50 million annually into the community in terms of investments that will be expended for the community. And so we are really proud of all the people here in Southbridge that have done such an extraordinary job. I have had the opportunity and honor to represent Massachusetts for a number of years in the United States Senate. And I want to tell you the effort that has been made here in Southbridge with Florence Chandler, the business community, every aspect of the community, the young and old, every part of the community. Those school children that were a part of it and making many of the signs and designs, elderly people that indicated that elderly and senior citizens or parents would be welcome, all those school teachers that talked about the quality of education in the schools, the chamber outreaching to those people that might come here and talking about the homes that might be out here and the beauty of this spectacular part of our state. This was really an extraordinary united effort that really brought out the best of the people in this community. And I want to tell you something, that made a difference. It made an extraordinary difference to me. I'm sure it made an extraordinary difference to Richie Neal, to John Kerry, all of the delegation. And I want to tell you, when I talked to the president, and Richie Neal talked to him, he kept talking about all those postcards he got last summer. How many of you sent postcards to the president? Well, he wants you to know, and wanted Richie and I to tell you this afternoon that he got those postcards. He knows about Southbridge. Everyone in the Pentagon knows about Southbridge. Everybody in the White House knows about Southbridge. Everyone in Massachusetts. You've done a great job, and it's a pleasure to introduce my colleague and great friend, Congressman Richie Neal.
Thank you very much, Senator Kennedy. It's nearly 2 years ago when the town of Southbridge invited me out to review the plans that they were going to propose to the Pentagon for the location of a DFAS operation here in Southbridge. And I have to tell you, as I walked out of here, I was shaking my head a bit and saying, boy, this is a tall order. But when I went back to Washington, D.C., I called Senator Kennedy, and I said, I'd like to sit down with you without any staff people, just the two of us. And I went over and we talked about it, and I can tell you within a matter of just a couple of days, he was out here. We owe an extraordinary debt of gratitude today to Ted Kennedy for helping to secure this facility. And he called me repeatedly over the weekend. The two of us, as late as last week, have been in contact with the White House regularly. He called me over the weekend. He said, geez, I was trying to get through on that phone to you. He said last night, he said, what's the matter? I said, I've got 4 teenage kids. I said, it's pretty simple. But he kept calling from his car phone, and as recently as early this morning, the reporters were calling me, and they said, are you on the list? I said, I don't know. They said, are you off the list? I said, I don't know. And he called me about 20 minutes after that and indicated that we had made the list. And indeed, we are grateful for the effort that he extended. In the end, a lot of credit can be passed out here, I think, to an awful lot of people, and I want to acknowledge John Kerry and Joe Moakley as well, who did a great job on this for us. But it was the strength of the proposal of the people of Southbridge with proper leveraging from the congressional delegation and our senior senator, I think, that put us over the top. I hope over the next few months that we're going to see here noticeable progress. I hope that the Pentagon will step forward very quickly as they define what this operation will in the end look like. But I think it's a good day for all of you who have worked so hard, and for the town fathers and the town mothers who have ensured the success of this DFAS proposal. So I look forward to working with you in the next few months and the next few years as we see this project come to its full place and rightful place in this community. This is indeed a great day for the people of South Worcester County, and I thank you for having allowed me to be a small part of it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. On behalf of all of you, I know I want to thank Senator Kennedy and Congressman Neal and the entire Massachusetts delegation for what they have brought to this community. But this community had the heart and the spirit. We are the little town that could, and we would not give up and we would not give in. If this is the Olympics, we were the long distance runners. We've had our heartbreak hill, but we have crossed the finish line today. My thanks to all of you for the 10,000 postcards. There is a president sitting there someplace saying today, I wonder what's next. But this is a beginning for us. This is the first step that we always wanted and needed. And I know the people of this community, we will build on it. There is no end to what we can do after today. Thank you.
you could wear that. We get you do the training and the education.
Thank you very much. You said one time I was a drill sergeant, so I'll just take my natural role.
Okay.
Would you like
Yeah. You want to?
Well, Senator, on behalf of the Southbridge Town Council, and I'm sure the people of Southbridge, I've always looked on you as a giant, and you've proved that you are. And our gratitude, and anytime that we can do something for you, you know we stand ready. Thank you, Senator.
I don't know how many other town councilors are here. There are certainly a lot of you out there that have participated from the beginning. My thanks to all of you. I see Councilor Haggerty, Councilor LaChapelle, and on behalf of the American Optical, who remember was a partner with us from the beginning, our thanks to them for their patience and their fortitude for never giving up with us. And somewhere out there there's a $100 million bond bill from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that we mustn't forget, and the support that we've gotten from them. I see Representative Peters here. Representative Peters, would you like to say a few words? Southbridge is, after all, in your district, right?
Florence, I think you've reminded me of that about every day you've been in my office, which has seemed like every day I've been elected.
That's my job.
But I do want to thank the town of Southbridge and Senator Kennedy and my good friend Congressman Neal and the Chamber of Commerce and so many people who worked so hard to bring this to fruition today. It has been a very, very long road, and I do want to say that the state has been fully committed, and Governor Weld, Lieutenant Governor Cellucci, and now Secretary Gloria Larson, and it's been a real team effort from so many people. There is so much credit to go around. Besides the beautiful weather this week, this is beautiful news. So on behalf of everybody out here, Senator and Congressman and the delegation who worked so hard, and Florence Chandler, thank you so much. I think you've really made a difference this year. Thank you, Florence.
It's my understanding that Dick Dowdell is here from Senator Bertinazi's office. Senator Bertinazzi has been a very great supporter of this. I would now like to introduce Mark Murphy, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce has been with us all along, pushing and tugging and never saying no. So Mark,
I won't say no at this point either, Florence. Thank you very much, and on behalf of the Chamber and this community, Senator Kennedy, thank you so much for your tenaciousness, and it's evident today there are plenty of golden shovels to go around, but we want you to dig the first. And Congressman Neal, to you also, you've been a wonderful host and a guider and a director, and thank you so much for everything that you've done. And on behalf, once again, of the Chamber of Commerce, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mike Coughlin, who's the legislative coordinator, who's worked very hard as co-president with me. Thank you, people, very much. And I'm going to turn it back over to Florence. Thank you.
anybody else that would like to say a few words? I hope I've recognized everyone that wants to be. Mike, come on up here and tell us how you did it.
Well, I was in the Army, and Florence is the best drill sergeant I ever had. I didn't do it. Everybody out in the crowd did it. This community has earned this day, and we've had superlative leadership from Senator Kennedy, Congressman Neal, the state delegation, Congressman Moakley, Jim McGovern, so many of our friends along the line. But it's each and one of you that signed those petition signatures, 15,000 of them, put in the postcards, put in the letters to the White House. You didn't give up. When the going got tough, you got going. When Heartbreak Hill came, you even ran even faster and further. So this victory is yours, and thank you very much.
If anyone has any questions, Senator Kennedy would be glad to answer them, and to the extent that we have details, we'll be glad to answer them. But Senator Kennedy today is the man who knows all and tells all. So if you have any questions, he'd be more than glad to answer.
On the spot. I think it's the power for the sound.
How many jobs? Idea and when?
Yeah, the answer is several hundred, and with the top being expected to be at the level of what the other satellite DFAS, which is generally around 750 jobs. That will be increasing as the as is mentioned specifically in the words of Secretary Deutsch, as this program moves ahead and its success. Yes, sir.
Senator, at what point did the proposal for the training and education center emerge, whereas for the town?
Well, if you look over the list, you'll see that the 5 major locations are at the same sites where they already had DFAS facilities already existed. So the decision that there weren't going to be. The others, with the exception of Southbridge, are either on military bases or contingent to the military bases. Southbridge is the only one on the whole list that doesn't fall into those categories. And what developed in the course of the review is that the excellence of Southbridge in its ability to provide both the educational and the training opportunities which exist in this community and relevant to this area were so compelling. Plus the what was considered to be, and I don't know how you evaluate it, but the customer service, the whole assessments that have been made by those that have been doing business with people here within this community, and they felt that those 2 elements were so powerfully represented, and they saw that there was going to be the need, given the way that the DFAS program was structured, that Southbridge fit right into that kind of an element. And I welcome the fact that it will. All of us are very mindful about other facilities, defense-related facilities, and the way that they have worked with the community, and that is what we're very hopeful will work here. If you look up at Hanscom Base, for example, there's between 600 and 700 small businesses that have been developed because of the proximity to Hanscom and the kinds of both training, education, and research that is being done up there. And you have an administration that is strongly committed to these spin-off kinds of activities. And we'd be very hopeful, Congressman Neal and myself, that in the fashioning and the shaping of the contract, that we will maximize the assets that exist here, both in the community and in the region. And that this will have an energizing force, quite frankly, that I think will be in excess of what it would have been if we had just had a center that was just doing more mechanical kinds of routines in examining various contracts and financial matters and reviewing various contracts. I think all of us understand the importance of education and training and financial management. That is not going to go away no matter what the size of the defense budget is. And that isn't going to go away when they try and find other kinds of reorganizations program. This is it. This is the center in terms of all education, training, and curriculum program. And I think what that can mean in terms of young people in this community, in terms of tying this center into the local schools and into the local curriculum, and tying the business groups within this community both into that kind of an atmosphere and climate, I think has just enormous potential in being an incredible asset. And that is what I think we want to try and see achieved and done. And I know from talking both to the President and to the Secretary of Defense and as well as John Deutsch that he wants to have that kind of a facility here as well.
Senator,
okay.
Do you have any idea when they can start construction?
That was the first question. The first question that we asked is the jobs and how we can get more. And the second one is the timeliness. They talk about several months. I think we'll have within 2 weeks a more precise time and flow line. As soon as we get a more precise time and flow line, both in terms of the construction and the buildup, we'll be off and going. But this is the time for review and re-examination and examination and challenge and test and contest is really over. We're in. And now the time is to take advantage of this opportunity that can really make a difference in this community and in this whole region. I don't know whether Richie... we'll take just one or two more. Excuse me. Is there a doubt in your mind? I will announce my plans at the Democratic Convention in June, but I don't think the answer will be much of a surprise. Okay, thank you very much.
You have been watching the press conference announcing the fact that Southbridge has received a DFAS-related Financial Management Education and Training Center. U.S. Senator Edward M. Kennedy is now signing a few autographs. Background, a number of familiar faces. Town Councilor Bernard Haggerty, Ronald Cooper in the background, Charlton Selectman Rick Kwiatkowski, and the Senator mentioned the fact that the Center will be part of a new Pentagon-wide approach to financial management reform and will have overall responsibility for training the 23,000 Pentagon employees involved in financial management. A number of signs saying, "Great job, Ted," were held high during the program. Background, Telegram Gazette photographer John Broussard, Southbridge News editor Mark Ashton, his assistants, reporter Lorena Nozzolillo, Sandra Tremblay, and the Senator made his way through the crowd. Pauline Julian, town manager's secretary, is on hand. Just about everybody in the community seemed to show up at the same time. It looked like word spread like wildfire through the town, and everybody showed up for this press conference with a beautiful sky overhead. Along with the Senator, his wife Victoria came along. Ron and Neil Cooper are among those there. Pauline Julian. In the background, Telegram and Gazette publisher Bruce Bennett. And the Senator stayed around for a short while, milling around, shaking hands with people. Laura Langevin having a picture taken with the Senator. To the left is Councilor Bernard Haggerty. In the background, John Davrakis. And Davrakis is shown shaking hands with the Senator.
I was the chairman of the committee. The committee worked. Great.
You did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
You did. Thank you.
Okay.
Stanley Pickle having his autograph signed, having the Senator sign his autograph, and there's Town Manager Florence Chandler with the sweatshirt presented. It says DFAS University. She owns the first one in town.
Tell him his hometown newspaper needs him.
He'll move quick now.
Now what is it?
It's going to be, it's the university, it's the education, it's the one university. It's the one university.
And the town manager is showing her sweatshirt with Congressman Richie Neal and Senator Ted Kennedy looking on. Fire Chief Leonard Laporte in the background. This is a special program to announce the fact that Southbridge has been designated as a Center for Financial Management Training and Education. Terry Alden having his autograph, getting the Senator's autograph. Town Councilor Sam Lavager. Terry Alden and his children having their pictures taken. Just about everybody turned out for this very happy event. The Senator said during his remarks that the center will be developed by an office in the Pentagon created in 1991. It's called the Defense Business Management University. And the office is expected to contract with a private organization or a college to operate the center. Kennedy said it's especially gratifying that the Pentagon has recognized the merit of siting this facility in Southbridge, and he commended town manager Florence Chandler and all of the town's workers, called it an extraordinary team effort, and said they deserve the great credit for the results. After about 15 to 20 minutes, the senator and his entourage left the park. Town manager Florence Chandler waving to the crowd. Very happy today and very pleased with the outcome.